On this episode of Be Better, golf coach Monte Schienblum gives me a small intention change for my driver that has huge results, giving me 5 more miles per hour of clubhead speed and 35 yards of distance. And we show exactly how it was done.
Hi everybody, thanks for watching, and if you have a second, click subscribe right now. This is Monte Schienblum. He's the World Long Drive Champion from 1992 and a good friend of mine. We're working on my swing. In this video, in the annotation, you'll see Monte completely transform my iron play in a way that I really would not thought was possible. I thought I had a mental problem that was making me lag it too much. And actually all it was a slight intention change, and my iron play has been amazing. Now since I did that, I have been hitting the driver pretty well because I started legitimately lagging it more. So a lot of people are saying what you did for Brendan there is amazing, and the comments have been great and everything else, but it's not going to be great for the driver. Or some people are saying there's some missing pieces you're not giving us that will make it great for the driver.
Okay, the no-turn cast drill, okay, that was what made some sense to you. There are dozens, you know, I make this point all the time. I have over 100 videos on YouTube that literally only cover 3, 4, possibly 5 concepts, okay? There's a million ways to look at everything. The no-turn cast drill, the first part of it is setting the wrist earlier and feeling like you make no turn. Setting the wrist early with driver is a pretty heinous feel for most people.
Yeah, it feels like there's zero width. I don't look like Tiger did in 2000. I don't look like Bubba does now.
And I'd say, you know, forget the people that the no-turn cast drill doesn't work for, which there are plenty.
Yeah.
But just taking the group that feel of just making no body rotation and just setting the hands behind you, putting you into a perfect backswing, I'd say only about 1 out of 5 does that work with on driver. So here's what I tell people. Do the no-turn part of the no-turn cast drill to shorten your swing through about 7-iron in your practice and on the course. And then slowly but surely, your driver swing will shorten.
Yeah, because for me, anytime I have success on a swing change like I did there, I think, and I've told you this before, I think, okay, if I'm doing no-turn cast, getting this great impact, what if I do beyond no turn and really, like, I start going to the extremes of, like, I'm going to be on tour. I'm going to be
too much of a good thing. Okay. Again, we said it in the last time we got, you know, the last video. You got to avoid extremes. Okay. All you're trying to do is do this no turn set wrist feel until it's ingrained, and you can just go like this and you set the club in the right place. Okay.
So with the driver, more so than with the irons, especially if you're a hard case flipper like I was, you don't need to feel the no-turn super early set as much.
You have to wait. You have to be patient and let the multiple reps you do with your wedge and your 7-iron with that feel, with that intent, gradually over weeks and months shorten your driver swing all by itself.
Well, it's been about a month since the lesson where I did the no-turn cast drill and had some great results. And I've been at the range basically every day since then, trying to burn it in. So let's see my driver swing now, what I'm up to.
Okay. See, and just to avoid some confusion here, we said in the last, when we talked about the driver, I said your intent should be the same. And now I'm saying, well, this intent doesn't work with the driver. Okay. When you are done with a swing change, the intent should theoretically be the same. Okay. But as you're working on it, you have to dig it out of the dirt, so to speak. Okay. So 6 months from now, you're not going to have to do the no-turn cast drill anymore. Your natural swing is going to be shortened here.
When do you know that you've overcooked it?
Results.
Okay.
How it feels. It starts to feel weird. It starts to feel like you can't do it anymore, and your results speak for themselves.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, Monty. Let's see what we have.
Give it a low. Give it a rip.
All right.
Okay. Too much secondary tilt at address.
Okay.
Got to be careful of that.
This is me at address.
Yeah. People say, Monty, you love secondary tilt.
You do.
Right. Don't want too much of a good thing.
Okay. So basically, the proper amount of secondary tilt, I've been told, and maybe this is right, is get your ear over your zipper. Is that a good baseline?
No. No, it's too much. All of these things, you want to avoid things that are dependent on anatomy.
Okay.
Okay? The proper amount of secondary tilt is going to be dictated by ball position.
Okay.
It's going to feel the same with every club, but with the ball back in your, all off your sternum with a wedge, you're only going to have a little bit, and then watch what happens when I reach forward and out for the driver.
Okay.
Your body automatically reacts, so don't try to put any extra in.
Yeah, my feet being wider and it being up in my stance is going to be...
Yeah, that's plenty. The code that I have for, you know, the catchphrase, so to speak, is I'm like, easy there, Elvis. When someone fires out their hips a little bit too early.
All my intentions to lag it are maximized when I use driver.
I can get people not to do the Elvis move just by handing them a 7-iron and say, hit it 100 yards.
Yeah.
Because here's what happens. Any mistake that we make in our golf swing will be magnified the harder we try to hit it. For you, your body interprets power as that, okay? So we have to kind of counteract that.
I'm very desirous of hitting it hard with the lower body first, even still, even though that did feel like this and that.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah. Welcome to the club.
Yeah,
okay?
right, exactly.
Okay. Hit this ball like 150 yards.
Okay.
Excellent, okay?
Okay. That went super straight, and I usually cannot do that drill.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, here's the issue. You have residual problems from before.
Yeah.
No kidding, right?
Yeah, right?
It's only been a month,
yeah.
right? When you were trying to lag the club hard, you had a tendency to get, you know, long and across the line and then steepen the shaft.
Yep.
Okay? When you steepen the shaft,
cross the line like this and then
steepen the shaft.
You're right.
Very, very common. The body will react by the right hip will pitch up and the right heel will prematurely come off the ground.
Okay.
Okay? Now, if you see a guy with his right heel off the ground when his hips are 70 degrees open, I still have space here.
Yeah.
But when you see someone and their hips are facing the golf ball and they're up in the air like this, that's residual effect of the club being steep.
Insert freeze frame of me doing that 2 seconds ago.
When I said don't smash this ball, you had a tendency to not steepen it, to not yank on it really hard, to not fire the hips really hard. So the right heel didn't go flying off the ball, and that allowed you to get your arms out in front of you and hit it straight. Okay?
So, $1 million question, how do I do that with 115 miles an hour club head speed?
Absolutely right. That is the $1 million question.
Yeah.
And like I always say, a colleague of mine who a very smart guy, Dan Caraher, he verbalized it in a simple way. I've always taught this way, but he verbalized it in a way that I really, really liked. He said, I like to speed up what's slow, not slow down what's fast.
Okay, because I have very fast hips.
Correct.
I'd like to keep that.
Right.
But get them to go at the right time, yeah.
Exactly right. So telling you to keep your right heel down longer or to restrict your hip turn on the downswing, those would probably have some, you know, immediate results, but long term it's not going to help you.
So just like we did in the last video, let's put 3 things or 2 or maybe even just 1 thing that I should try to address with my driver.
It's 1.
So we're just going to put 1 right here. Yeah.
Okay. There are 2 things in the golf swing they're general. There's width and depth. Okay? Width is how far away it is from you.
Yep.
Depth is that way.
Yep.
Okay? The big issue that you have is you lose depth on your right hip too early.
Okay. So in fixing Brendan's driver, I'm basically humping the goat or the cow or whatever.
Not necessarily. No? Okay. You can still go like this. Okay. So watch. When you lose depth on your hip, see how the right heel comes out?
Yes.
And it is a little bit of early extension. You don't want the right hip coming up and out like that.
Right. Okay. So if my hips are in water and I'm doing my swing now, I'm coming above the water.
Yeah, look at your right heel.
My heel's coming up.
It's gone.
Right. Yeah.
And you do it even worse. You will. I've seen you make some swings.
Yeah.
Especially before we worked on anything with the iron.
Yeah.
Where you were.
Right. And not only that, but then laterally, my head's over here.
Correct.
Too.
Okay. So if we're talking depth is this way,
Yes.
this belt loop, this right hip pointer, whatever you want to see, needs to stay deep longer. Okay? So, you know, if the right hip goes lower, if the right hip works targetward, you know,
I've always heard that one tip, and I hate this tip. Keep your back to the target longer. That might, and people tell me that, but it never works for me.
Okay.
What does that even mean?
Well, it's just delaying the rotation. In theory, it's not the worst thing in the world. I've heard a lot worse.
No, I'd like to do it, but I hate it because it's the type of thing you'll work on and never get any better.
Generally speaking,
Yeah.
I tell people, if you have to start a sentence with "I heard" or "they said,"
Right,
don't do it.
Yeah, just don't even go down that road.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
Okay. The theory is, but to me, keeping the back to the target, the hips can still pitch out.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, right. You can still go like this and
right.
look.
Right.
Yeah,
Especially a flexible, you know.
I'm very flexible.
Okay. If you're going to go down that road, which again isn't the worst thing in the world, I would say keep the tailbone toward the target.
Okay. We're going to shut it off for a second, and then, just like that, we'll be back in another 20 minutes or something, where who knows what it'll be, but something will hopefully key in to it, and we'll turn the camera back on when we do a little work.
Got it.
Cool. All right, so we're back. We just finished about only 15 or 20 minutes so of practice, and what were the main things that we saw that could be kind of fixing?
Okay, I saw something that I saw it in your iron swing, and it went away a little bit. I didn't think it was going to be as problematic with the driver as it was.
Okay.
So when you're looking at a swing down the line,
Yeah.
the telltale sign that your arms are stuck and trapped behind
Yeah.
is you draw a line in front of like the thighs or the knees.
Like this, right?
Okay. And then you look at the left arm, okay? And you don't want a huge discrepancy there.
Okay.
And as they'll see, I'm going to give you the video.
Yeah.
In the before video, before we
Yes.
talked about anything,
Yeah.
there was almost a 90-degree.
So basically, my knee line was like this,
And your left
my
arm-
arm line, I can't do it statically.
No, no.
But my arm line was basically like this.
When they see it on,
Yeah.
on freeze frame, they're going to be like, wow, how is that guy not blown his back out? And as we saw, the first move down, the right hip was up and out,
Right.
and you were on your tiptoe at right tiptoe at impact.
Super stuck.
Super stuck.
Okay.
And I told you that when I looked at that and saw it on there, I said, you've got 4 to 8 more miles an hour.
But I didn't know how much that was sapping power and speed out of it.
Well, let me ask you this, okay? What can you do faster? Spin your body or cast your left arm off your chest like that? If you were playing tennis left-handed,
Yeah.
okay, and you stepped and reared back to hit a backhand left-handed,
Yeah.
and you just spun your body and kept your left hand arm pinned to your chest, now you're gonna get the ball to the net. So in a golf swing, to translate it, you're stepping, you're rotating, and then you're firing the left arm off your chest. Once someone who's a pinner,
Yeah.
which I
Pin
am
that
as well.
left arm to the chest,
I
right.
am as well.
Yeah.
If you don't feel that sucker come off, as soon as you start rotating, the centripetal force that your rotation causes is going to keep it there. It'll never come off.
So we were able to make my smash factor go up significantly, and we were also able to give me about 6 or 4 something miles an hour speed.
Well, your regular hit it as hard as you could, swing your swing deal, with the improvement that you had from working on the no turn cast drill with your irons, you were 107.5 to 110. You hit like 4 balls, and it was in that range. In that range.
Right.
So what we saw is you were 107.5 to 110 with your regular swing, and the first time you did this correctly, you turned around and you said, "That's it." And the screenshot came, and it was 114.4. That's a 4.5 mile per hour increase over your fastest swing doing it your way. And then the other thing you saw, as a natural effect, your right heel didn't come up as early and your right hip didn't pop up as much.
It's funny that you really need the right intention, because if I had only intended to keep my heel down and keep my hip back, I would have gone even more stuck, and I would have really hurt my back.
And you would have hit it 102 miles an hour because you'd have been contriving it so much.
But doing this, having that right intention will have these recursive effects of fixing the other bad
Absolutely.
thing. Okay.
By the way, you know, we brought this up beforehand. Isn't it great? The student is dressed appropriately, and I'm out here with my clown clothes on.
Yeah, I look like a wannabe pro.
Hey, it's 85 degrees.
Yeah,
I'm comfortable.
This was a mistake.
I'm comfortable.
Yeah, this was a mistake.
Okay, so remember, you have to feel like this thing is over here, but then not only are you allowed to fire your hips, you can move them as fast as you can move them faster.
Yeah, I like that. So I'm a little taller with my knees. I'm a little bit
less bend in the knees. Good.
So just the feel is.
Yeah. See, you can do it without a golf ball pretty easily.
Yeah, I'm pretty good without a golf ball. All right, I'll do the LPGA thing here, and I'll just ask you if I look good, and then I can swing. How's that look?
Oh, you're just wonderful.
All right, cool.
Pretty good. Not as good as the one that was 114 and a half, but that was significantly better. Now, it's just, again, it's just like with the iron swing. I like to use intents that you can just go.
And eventually, just looking into the future, to know when to back off that intent, and you don't need it as much. You just kind of gauge that on your results.
I don't know that time will come.
Okay.
Because
20 years later, you're still trying to do
this. If you're no, I've only been trying to do this for a couple months.
Oh, okay.
Okay. But if this starts to be too much, just speed the hips up.
Here we go.
Something that I know you like.
Yes, I love to move my hips fast. I'm a fantastic dancer as well.
Elvis.
Yes. All right, but I'm gonna feel like this is getting 3 feet down in front of my swing, and then I can use my hips as hard as
And just
possible.
so you know, you're not the only one working on this. Justin Rose has a video on one of the Golf Magazine websites where he says, do exactly this. So this isn't me inventing this out of thin air.
Well, Tiger and Butch talked about the same thing too.
Years ago, and Tiger kind of needs to get back to something like this. But Justin Rose says, you know, he does it a little differently than you. He tries to keep his back to the target and drop the arms, which, you know, for you, but you getting that arm
It's a very simple feel. Just
very simple.
Get this going.
And then fire.
And then kill it. Hit it long. All right, how's that look, Coach?
Good. Nice. Well done. See, and now, obviously, if you've got this left arm pinned to your chest, I can't even do what you do with 2 arms on the club.
No.
If you've got this left arm pinned to the chest and you're opening up those hips, when this finally gets out here, look where that club face is pointed, okay? Yep. Whereas if you're getting that left arm to work out and you're rotating it into position,
you're square.
You're square.
So I'm going to work on it. There'll be updates coming and everything else. Thanks for watching, everybody. Click like, click subscribe. Monte's channel is youtube.com/hitalong, but just go to monteschienblum.com. Everything you need to know about him is on there. Thanks a lot, Monte.
You got it. Well done.
Right.